This one is Mr. Jones by Counting Crows. Before we go over the song and start to play along with it, I'm going to show you the chords that you need to know to play it. In this case, you only need to know 4 chords, those being A minor, F, D minor, and G5. Now, if you already know these chords, just skip this part of the video lesson and move on to the next part. If not, here they are. Alright, A minor starts with our first finger on the first fret on the second string. And then we're going to use our second and third fingers together as if they were one kind of unit and bring them over to the fourth string and third string, respectively, both on the second fret. And then we're going to strum from the fifth string right through to the first string. And it should sound like that when you play it. Okay, moving right along to the F. The F is kind of tricky. We're not going to use the whole F, this one, that you may be familiar with. In this song, they only use 3/4 of it, this being a half, and this being 3/4. So there's a couple different ways you can approach an F. Obviously, you can do it like this, split it in half if you're a beginner like this, or for this particular song, this is the voicing to choose. To approach the F, you're going to need to actually fret 2 strings with your first finger, both on the first fret. Then we're going to add our second finger into the mix here, on the second fret on the third string. Then we're going to use 3 and 4 as one unit, and bring them over to the third fret on both the fifth string and the fourth strings. Third finger being on fifth string, pinky being on fourth string. And it should sound like this. Now D minor, we're going to use our first finger, first fret, first string, second finger, second fret, third string, and then our third finger is going to weasel in here to the third fret on the second string, and we're going to strum from the fourth string down to the first string. It should sound something like that when you play it. And then finally, the G5 chord is going to sound like this. And the way we're going to approach this one is both our third and pinky are going to work as one finger to cover the second string and the first string. Third being on second, pinky being on first, both on the third fret. First finger is going to come over here to the second fret on the fifth string, and second finger is going to come to the third fret on the sixth string. And when you play it, it should sound like that. So we've got A minor, F, D minor, and G5. And you may be able to recognize the chords to the song in there. I'm playing them in the actual order that the verse is. Okay, so there's the chords. Let's move along to the verse. Now that we've learned the chords to the song, let's put them in order to create the verse. The first cycle happens to be the same order that we learned the chords in, that being A minor to F to D minor to G. It continues from there to go A minor, F, then straight to G. And we're going to hold that G for 2 measures. Again, that's A minor, F, D minor, G5, A minor, F, and then G. Now there's a strum in there that we're going to learn a little bit later. I'm going to show you the chords to the whole song first, so you can practice those in sequence, and then we're going to throw in the strum. Here's what it sounds like when you put it all together. It'll sound a little more like the song with the strum. And that's basically the pattern to both the intro and the verse. I guess you can see how that fits in with the chord changes and the song. And you could probably see my right hand moving along with the strum. So there's the verse. Let's move on to the chorus. Okay, the chorus to the song is the same 3 chords in sequence over and over. They're going to be C to F to G. And you'll see G we hold twice as long as we hold the C and the F. Again, that's C, F, G held, and that sequence is played 4 times in a row. Again, that's C. Now we're going to cover the bridge to the song. This is another pattern that's repeated, starting on A minor, moving to F, moving back to A minor, then to G5. And that's repeated, A minor, F, A minor, G5. Now in the bridge there's no strum. Basically it's just each chord strummed once and sustained. So there it is. There's the bridge to the song. Let's move along and learn the strum so that we can tie it all together. Okay, here's the strum to the song. This strum is similar to a lot of the other songs I've made lessons for, like Brown Eyed Girl, Margaritaville, a host of other songs, and I'd say it's the strum that occurs in probably well over 95% of pop songs that feature the acoustic guitar. And it looks like this. What I'm doing here is I'm doing a downstroke, missing the strings on the way up, doing a down up after that, missing the strings on the way down, and then doing an up, down, up. So what we've got here is down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And it's important when you learn the strums to keep your right hand moving in a consistent motion. I like to relate it to being like a pendulum on a clock. Just really rhythmic, really smooth. And you choose to hit the strings when you need a strum sound, and you choose to miss them when you don't. And in this particular case, again, we're going to do a down, down, up, miss those strings, up, down, up. So we have a down. Naturally, we're going to miss them on the way up, down, up, miss them on the downstroke, and then up, down, up. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. So there's the strum to the song. Then you just have to coordinate it with the chords. Coordinating the strum with the chord changes in this particular song can be kind of challenging because there's not a lot of common fingers between each chord to give you leverage to switch from chord to chord and also give you a sustained note to make it sound smooth. This is where one of my favorite tricks for switching chords and strumming at the same time comes in. And what it involves is utilizing the power of open chords, open strings rather. See how these strings ring open as I switch? They create a little bit of extra noise to make the chord change sound smoother as opposed to something like this. See how I really had to reach and grab for that chord? Now, of course, I could play it very smoothly because I've been playing for years if I wanted to. But for a beginner or even an intermediate person, it's always good to take advantage of strings that tend to ring when you change chords. So in the case of this song, that can be a pretty handy tool. Now, in order to achieve a rhythmic kind of thing for this song, you want to accentuate the first downstroke of the pattern as you change. And you can also throw in these little extra strums. You can hear them in there, that little. To move it along rhythmically a little bit, and that's what he does on the recording. Now, if you can't do that, our good old down, down, up, miss, up, down strum will do just fine. It'll sound a little bit like this. So there's the strum to the song. Now all we have to do is put it all together to create the whole song.